Okay guys, so our today's topic is actually this. Okay, so our today's topic is going to be solving quadratic equation by factoring. Okay, so this is our today's topic. So before we actually doing any question, let me tell you guys some of the really important property first. Okay, so as you can see, the first property over here, what we have is the quadratic equation in the standard form, okay, which is ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0 with a not equal to 0, right? So definitely you need to remember this. Okay, so this is kind of like important stuff. Okay, yeah, and the second really important thing is the definition of the zero product principle. Okay, the definition of the zero product principle. So let me actually write circle a little bit more better, I guess. So zero product principle. Okay, so the zero product principle states that if a multiplied by b is equal to 0, then a is equal to 0, or b is equal to 0, or a equal to b equal to 0. So I just basically read a statement over here. Okay, so we have to using this using the definition of the zero product principle to actually solving quadratic equation. Okay, we have to using the zero product principle to actually, in order for us to solve the quadratic equation better. Okay, so this is basically the really important thing. Okay, those are really important things, you need to know it. Okay, so we will actually try actually apply those. We will actually apply the zero product principle within a question. Okay, so now let us start to doing some question over here. So basically over here you can see we got totally 9 questions. So it's actually not a lot. We will try to finish it as fast as possible, and also I will try to explain as many as possible. Okay, so first of all, take all of the question, take a look. Okay, so we got exactly 9 questions, right? Okay, so let's begin with question 1, I guess. So question 1, what you can see is that we have, okay, so right now we are actually zooming a little bit, right? So question 1, as you can see, we have x equal to 3 and x equal to 4, right? So that's the property what we have it. I mean, that is the equation. That's the question what we have it, right? So let's look at, I just want to mention the zero product principle again. As you can see, for question 1, we can actually apply the zero product principle, right? Because over here zero product principle state that a multiplied by b is equal to 0, right? So that's exactly the statement in question 1, right? So we basically state that. Okay, so what we have to state that we're gonna state x equal to 3. Let me write a little more clear. So we state that, so x equal to x minus 3 is actually equal to 0. Okay, and or x minus 4. Let me write a little more clear, I guess. So x minus 4 is equal to 0. So that's basically we are actually applying the zero product principle, right? And then x equal to 3 or x equal to 4, right? So actually over here you can actually write it like x1 is equal to 3 and x2 is equal to 4. So now we basically solving the problem over here, right? So we basically solve the problem, right? So this one, since it is the first one, so I just want to try to make it simple to let you guys know how we actually apply the zero product principle. So I think right now you guys does get the idea, right? So basically this is the way how we actually apply it. I mean, it is just some simple calculation, right? So now we actually solve question 1. Okay, so let's jump up to question 2 over here. Okay, so I think you guys does understand how we actually apply the zero product principle right now. So we're just gonna zoom in. Okay, so as you see in this question, we have to do in the factory stuff, right? We have to do in the factory again. So we have x squared. Let me read the question first. So we have x squared minus 3x minus 18 is equal to 0, right? So we have to do in the factory stuff, right? So so you write down those in your notes, right? And then negative is 18 is actually equal to negative 6 multiplied by 3, right? Negative 6 multiplied by 3, right? So you write it down negative 6 and then 3, right? So I think up on this point, you guys don't even need to do in you guys don't even need to do the cross operation anymore. So we just gonna write it down the solution. Okay, so so we just gonna finish the factory over here. Okay, I think on this point you guys should be able to just don't just calculate it in your mind, right? Because you see, it should be after we factor out, after we actually factor out, right? So we are actually able to solve the problem, right? Okay. This is actually one of the meaning why you have to factor it, okay? Because you can see over here, after we actually factor out, everything becomes easy, right? Right. So what we have, x plus 3 is equal to 0, or x minus 6 equal to 0. So that's basically we apply the zero principle, right? Again, zero product principle again, right? So we have x1 equal to negative 3, or x2 is equal to 6, right? So basically that's exactly how we actually apply the zero product principle, right? So now we actually solve the problem, right? So we basically solving the problem, right? So actually let me show you guys how you actually recheck it, okay? So how you recheck, okay? So basically the way how you recheck is you just basically plug the number back into the equation, okay? So over here we have x1 equal to negative 3, so you plug in back the equation. So you just basically plug in negative 3 into this, okay? And then checking if it is equal to 0, okay? So that's it. Negative 3 to the square minus 3 multiply negative 3 minus 18, right? Minus 18, right? So we have negative 3 to the square which is 9, and then negative 3 multiplied by negative 3, which is another 9, and then minus 18. So negative 9, 9 plus 9 is actually 18. So 18 minus 18 is equal to 0, right? So the negative 3 will be good to go. So negative 3 is actually definitely will be right. So let's check the other one, okay? So the other one is actually 6 over here. So we have 6 squared minus 3 multiplied by 6, and then minus 18, right? So 6 squared is actually 36. 36 minus 18 minus another 18, right? And then it just becomes 36. Let me move it down a little bit, okay? So 36 minus is actually 36, right? So negative 18 minus 18, so it's going to be negative 36, right? So it's actually going to be negative 36, right? So we know it is 0, so both answer is actually valid, right? So that's basically how you actually recheck it to make sure you actually does get the right thing. Okay, so that's basically the way. All right. Okay, so let's move into question 3. All right. So since we have a lot of questions, right, so we have to do it a little bit more faster. So over here, it's about the factory again. So okay. So I talking about the thing before. If you don't do the factory over here, since if you actually want to find, if you actually want to find the value of x, the efficient way will be you factory it. Okay. So if you are able to do in the factory to solving a problem, you always do in the factory, because factory makes things easy, right? Because after you doing the factory, you are actually able to using the zero product principle. So that's why things become easy to actually for you to actually solving for x, right? So here we have to do the factory again, right? So you write those into another page, right? So you basically write those into another page, and then 3x and x, and then you're putting 2 at the bottom and then 1 at the top. So now you can see this one is actually working, right? So it's basically working, right? Okay. So that's that basically okay. So now you can see this is so now you can see this is actually working, right? So let's finish the factory, okay? So you basically write it down. Since we already practiced a lot of how you actually factor out those trinomial, right? So I think you guys should be good to go, for now, I think. Yeah. Okay, if you still confused a little bit about how you actually doing those, then maybe check my previous video. That will help a lot. Okay. Okay, so now you can see we can actually apply the zero product principle again, right? So we can actually apply it again. So so basically making 3x plus 1 equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0. So that's basically right? So that's basically how we actually apply it. So 3x equal to -1 over here, and x is equal to -1 over 3, right? And then over here is x equal to -2, right? So here we just make it become x1, and then here is just x2, right? So those are the two values. Those are the two values for the solution of question 3, right? So now we actually now we basically solve the problem, right? So now we actually solved the problem 3, right? Okay. Okay, so let's move into question 4. Okay, so question 4, you can see we have a 4x squared on the left hand side, and we have something on the other side, right? So firstly we have to moving those things to on the same side, right? So we have to move it, right? So we just basically move it to the other side, and then now it's the time for us to actually factor out the things, right? So you basically write down 2x and then 2x, right? And then you try to solve a little bit, right? So you basically try to solve it, right? Okay, so let's take a look. Okay, so let's basically take a look. See is there any ways we can actually make this work, right? So let's actually try 3 and 4 first. If it is not working, then okay, I think actually 3 and 4 is actually, so actually the number here is -12, so definitely one of them will be negative, right? So that is definitely one of them will be negative. That is definitely. So I think you need to think about it while you actually doing this. So I think instead of we have 2x and 2x, we just simply have 4x and x, and then that may just gonna work. Yeah, I think now it's actually working. So the right combination over here, it should be something like this. Okay, it should be something like this, I guess. So let's check it again. Yeah. So now this is actually working. So we actually find the right combination of it. Okay, so we have this and this, okay, and this. All right, so let me actually write a little more clear. Okay, so this is actually the combination what we have it. Okay, so now we can actually apply the zero product principle. Okay, so now we're going to apply the zero product principle in order for us to actually solving the problem, right? So 4x plus 3 equal to 0, or x minus 4 equal to 0. So now we have to simplify the x, right? So 4x is equal to -3, and x is equal to -3 over 4, right? And then over here is x equal to 4, right? So we have x1 and then x2. So those are the two solutions for this problem, right? So now we figure out this is gonna be, those are the two solutions for this problem, right? Okay, so now let's move to question 5. Okay, question 5, you can look at it. Let's read it first. X squared is equal to 7x. So we have to move it, right? So we basically have to move it. Okay, so right? So we basically move it, and then you can see on both sides we have an x and then an x, right? So you know we can actually factor out x first, right? X minus 7, so that's, now we actually finish the factory for this problem, right? So we basically finish the factory for this problem, and then we can actually apply the zero product principle, right? So x is just going to be, x1 is going to be 0, or x minus 7 is equal to 0, right? So x is equal to 7. So you can see, you know, x2, right? x2. Okay. So let me actually write a little more clear. I think it's kind of like a little bit confusing. x2, okay? x2 is equal to 7. Okay, x2 is equal to 7. So now you can see those are the two solutions for this problem, right? So basically, you know, those right? Okay, so those are the two solutions for this problem, okay? All right, so let's move into question 6. So question 6, you know, I just want to make sure, you know, like, I want to make sure, like, you know, it does, you know, cover most of the question, most of the different type of questions. So question 6, what we have is x squared minus 49, right? So x squared equal to 49, right? Okay, so basically, you know, just over here you can actually, you just need to actually, you know, over here you can just do in one step, and then you will get in the solution. The solution over here is x equal to plus and minus 7. Okay, so this is the sample of plus and minus. Okay, plus and minus. Okay, so plus and minus. So this sample, this how you read this is x equal to plus and minus 7. Okay, so you can also write it something like, you know, x1 equal to 7, and then x2 equal to negative 7. This will be the solution for this question. Okay, so maybe you ask me why the solution over here is 7 and also negative 7, right? So let's basically recheck it. Okay, so let's recheck. To tell you guys before how we recheck it, just like basically apply back the number, right? So we have x squared as the same over here, right? So 7 squared is actually 47, and then the negative 7 squared is also 47, right? Right. So so basically, you know, the way over here is actually a little bit, a little bit, not many details. Okay, so let me actually show you a little bit detail about this question. Okay, but the answer for this one is x equal to plus and minus 7 if you can actually see it. Okay, but if you still cannot see it, I may just gonna show you how you actually, you know, how you actually able to, you know, like know it's gonna be this answer. Okay, so first we have to put in 47 to the other side, so it becomes negative 47, right? So we're gonna recall one of the property over here, right? So the property over here, as I mentioned many times, you know, it's this property again. Okay, right? So a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared, right? So we have x squared minus 47 over here, and then we all know that 47 is 49 is actually equal to 7 squared, a perfect square, right? So that's why, you know, that's sorry. So let me actually write a little more clear, okay? Right, so we know that, you know, 79 is actually equal to 7 squared, right? So that's why you are actually able to write, you are actually apply the property over here. Okay, so you basically writing something like, you know, x plus 7 and x minus 7, right? So that's how you actually apply the property, right? Okay, so now you should be able to see that, you know, that now you should be able to see that the solution over here, it should be negative 7 and then x2 equal to 7, right? Okay, so if you those are the details. Okay, you can also write it down, or, you know, you can also write it down as a part of the solution. That's also okay. Okay. All right, so let's move into question 7. Okay, so let's move into question 7. Question 7, as always, you know, we have to move in this number to the other side, right? So we first move it. Okay, so we first moving 24 to the other side become negative 24, right? And then you can see over here we actually can factor out a number. We have a 4, and then we have another 4, and then we have a 24, so we can actually factor out 4 over here, right? So let's factor out first, right? X squared minus x, and then minus 6, right? So minus 6, right? So now you can see, now we can actually factor a little bit more, right? So okay, so let me actually show you how you're writing down those details in another paper, right? So you know we have a negative 6 over here, so the right combination is obviously negative 3 and then 2, okay? So right, okay, so now we actually finish the factory. So you write it down 4 and then x minus 3 and then x plus 2, right? So that is you know, basically, right? So now we are actually able to apply the zero principal property, right? So so actually the 4 over here is actually not that important, okay? Because you know, because over here you can just, because over here, you know, 0 multiplied by 1 over here, 1 over 4 is still going to be 0, right? So the 4 over here, it doesn't really matter. If you're moving 4 to the other side, it will become 0, okay? So now we can actually apply the zero principal property, okay? So x minus 3 equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, right? So x1 is equal to 3, or x2 is equal to negative 2, okay? So this is the final, you know, so basically we actually solving this problem, okay? So we actually solve question 7 over here, okay? So we basically already solved it, all right? Okay, so yeah, so question 6, question 8, yeah, question 8. So question 8, you look at this, you know, first thing first, we have to simplify a little bit, right? So we have to, you know, we have to multiply, we have to put out the thing out of the bracket, right? So we have 3x multiplied by 5x, which is 15x squared, and then we have a plus 3x multiplied by 9 is 27x, right? Right, and then we have a 6 on the other side, so we have to move it, right? We just basically move it, so it becomes negative 6, right? So right, okay. So now you can see we can actually factor out some stuff. We have a number 15, we have a number 27, we have numbers negative 6, right? So they have a greatest common power of 3, right? So their greatest common power GCF is actually equal to 3, right? So 5x squared plus 9x plus 2, right? Okay, so now we don't actually need this 3 anymore, so you can actually rewrite a little bit, okay? As I mentioned before, you know, this 3, you moving to the other side, it becomes 1 over 3, it's gonna be 0, right? So you can just need to, you know, you can just ignore it, okay? So now is the time we actually, you know, have to factor it. So we have a 5x squared and then a negative 2 over here, right? So if you should be able to see the combination right away, I think, you know. So the right combination is something like this, right? It should be like this, right? Okay. Okay, so this is the right combination. Okay, right. So now we draw a line, right? Okay. So 5x minus 1 and then x plus 2 is equal to 0, right? So now we basically applying the zero product principle, right? So 5x minus 1 is equal to 0, or x plus 2 is equal to 0, right? So 5x is equal to 1. Let me move it down a little bit. Okay. X is equal to 1 over 5, and then over here x is just equal to negative 2. Okay, so you may just write a little bit x1, and then over here is x2. Okay, so those are the two solutions for question 8. Okay, so those are the two solutions for question 8. Okay, right. So let's move into question 9. I think question 9 is the last question. So why don't you guys, you know, pause the video and try the question by yourself? Okay. Alright, so now let's actually solving this problem, okay? So now you can see in this question, we already have something already factored, right? We have already something which is already in factor, and but you can see we have a number 18 over here. We have a number 18. It is not 0, right? It is actually not 0, right? Let's recall again, okay? So in order to actually apply the zero principal property, we definitely need to have something like a multiplied by b is equal to 0, right? So the zero product principle, right? Product principle, right? So in order to apply the zero product principle, we definitely need a multiplied by b is equal to 0. It have to be 0 over here, right? It have to be a 0, but the number over here is actually 18. So we gotta have to get rid of it, right? We have to get rid of it, right? So we want to get rid of 18. So we want the right hand side becomes 0, right? So that's basically how we apply the zero product principle, right? So that's why we have to actually multiply them first. Okay, so we have to multiply them first. All right. So how we actually multiply them is basically let me do it. Okay, x squared, and then we have a plus 2x, and then we have a negative 5x, and then we have a negative 10 is equal to 18, right? Okay, so now we have to simplify a little bit, right? So we gotta have to simplify a little bit. So we have this, and then we have an x squared, and then we have a 2x. We have 2x minus 5x, which is negative 3x, right? And then minus 10, and then we just basically moving negative 18 to the other side, become negative, right? And then now we have a 0, right? Now we basically having a 0, right? So we gotta have to simplify a little bit more. X squared minus 3x, and then it's minus 28, right? So negative 10 minus 18 is actually negative 28, right? Negative 10 minus 18, right? So it's negative 28. Okay, so now we have to factor it, right? So now we have to factor it, right? So if you can already see it, then you should know that the factor over here, it should be negative 7 at the bottom and 4 at the top, right? Okay. Okay, so let me checking again. Okay, let me actually checking again. Yeah, I think we get it right. Okay, so as I said, most of the combination is not difficult to find it. Okay, you should be able to see it in maybe 1 or 2 try. Okay, so we have a x plus 4, and then we have a x minus 7 is equal to 0. Okay, is equal to 0. So now we can actually apply the zero product principle, right? Because the thing over here is already 0, right? So that's really important. Okay, that's why I say you need to memorize the zero product principle, because that's how we actually solving those quadratic equation. Okay, so x plus 4 is equal to 0, or x minus 7 is also equal to 0. So x is equal to negative 4, x1. Okay, x1, or x2 is equal to 7. Okay, so those are the two solutions what we have for this question, right? So those are the two solutions for what we have for this question. Okay, so now let's actually recheck it again. Okay, so since it is the last question, so I just want to make sure you guys does understand. So that's why we want to do a recheck. Okay, so recheck. So as I mentioned before, how we okay, so let me clear a little bit. So then, as I mentioned before, how you basically recheck, it's basically you plug the number back into the equation. So you're plugging the number over here. Okay, let me actually write a little bit more clear, I guess. So you're plugging the solution over here, okay, into this, okay, into basically this. So let's plug negative 4 back. So we have a negative 4 minus 5, right? And so we have a negative 4 plus 2, right? So we have negative 4 minus negative 5 is actually negative 9. And then we have a multiply. We multiply negative 2, right? So we multiply negative 2. So the answer over here is actually negative become positive. So 2 multiplied by 9 is actually 18, right? So you see we actually get the right solution, right? So the solution over here is actually 18, so it's also 18. So that means the negative 4 is valid, right? It's actually valid. So now let us actually check 7 again. So 7, so over here is 7 minus 5, and then we have a 7 plus 2, right? So 7 minus 5 is actually 2. 2 multiplied 7 plus 2 is actually 9. It's equal to 18, right? So both of them are equal to 18. So your solution is good. Your solution is right. Okay. Okay. So okay. So that's basically okay. So now that's basically everything for this chapter. Okay. I hope you guys just learn something from from the question over here, and also the way I talk about those topics, right? Okay. Alright, so let's actually record a little bit. So review summary a little bit. So we basically talking, the topic over here is solving quadratic equation by factoring, right? So we basically explain what is a quadratic equation, and also the important thing, right? The zero product principle. So we using the zero product principle to actually solving the quadratic equation, right? We using factoring to solving quadratic equation, right? So and over here we're basically solving those questions to get you guys familiar how we actually apply basically how you guys are actually really applying the zero product principle, right? Okay. All right. So thank you guys for watching my video. Okay, please subscribe to my channel, like the video, and if you still have any question, please leave a comment below. Okay, please. Okay, so please leave a comment below, and okay. All right, so if you still have some questions, then please leave a comment below. Okay, also turn on the notification. You turn on the notification. You just click the button. Okay, notify it, because I will try to make more video of more topic. Okay, I will try to make more video of more topic. Okay, so see you guys in the next video. All right.